What's up, NHL gamers? Welcome back to the ECL Elite semifinals coverage. And today we will have the conclusion of two series for you, Linköping and Färjestad and HAVU Gaming and hREDS. I can't wait to see how these ones turn out. Perhaps we'll see a bit of an underdog start to battle back, or we may see the stage set for a rematch of last season's final. So I'm pumped up. I don't know how you're feeling, Kenu. How are you feeling about this?
Honestly, I don't know what to expect. I mean, we all know that Färjestad wasn't expected to make it this far, but they've surprised us time and time over. I mean, they had a terrible first game against Linköping. Was it 5-0? Second game, they really showed everybody why they're still around. And yesterday in game 3, they had the 2-0 lead with less than 10 minutes to go in the game, and sadly for them managed to lose that by letting in 3 goals there at the end of the third period. But I think we've all seen that they're capable of taking the lead, and yeah, they're in for a heck of a challenge. But
absolutely. I mean, Linköping up by that many games and you can only lose one. I mean, it's going to be tough, but no matter what, I feel like they've kind of put a message in a bottle here and are floating it out to sea for next season. Like, hey, we can be a contender. If they just have themselves a better regular season, they could be one of those, those playoff teams we talk about, maybe stealing that 5 or 6 slot, come next season, but only time will tell here. Linköping and Färjestad, the conclusion of the series will be tonight, no matter what. And you're going to look at the lineups here. Afe, Maisa, and Bastian, of course, the front 3 for Färjestad, always strong, always scary with their counterattack. Rubatas totally locking down the back end. And of course, Rundqvist in between the pipes, making probably more saves than he's ever had to make in any games in the regular season against this Linköping squad, which is Playmaker, Patslav, and Eki up front, J. Toro and Loimu on the back end, and of course the face of season 10, Kape, between the pipes. And what do you see any of these guys like kind of stepping out and showing us something that we haven't seen in this series, Kenu?
Well, I think we've seen a lot of things already in this series. I mean, I think you have to bring up Afe and the way he's played number 33 there, left wing for Färjestad. He's been whenever FBK has been dangerous, he's been one of the guys there. But they have in order for them to win, as for anybody at this level, you need all the pieces to work together, right? They go for those long bank passes or Omaha passes, whatever you want to call them, and it's really a fine piece of machinery there. Whereas, of course, Linköping has been playing together for God knows how many seasons, and these guys know each other so well, and two very different game styles. I don't expect too much to change today, but it's going to be an interesting night.
Absolutely. This is going to be an interesting night, and we'll start getting to the head-to-head matchups now. Of course, we'll start, as we always do, with the senders, Maisa and Patslav. Now, Maisa, again, not the most prolific of goal scorers, but so important to his team. He's been very good on the faceoff so far, and that's, allowed his team to get some offensive pressure. Games 3 and 4, we really started to see Linköping start to take over, and Patslav, obviously, very big part of that. He produces the points, 21 points in 8 games played, along with 7 goals. I mean, if you're almost goal per game and that much, points per game, I mean, it's safe to say that you're doing a really good job. And, he started to get a bit better on the faceoff dot as this series has gone on, which allowed Linköping to sort of play that puck possession style and absolutely take it to Färjestad, especially after that game 3 scare from them. But speaking of the centers here in Maisa, we did have a chance to talk to him before the game here, and we'll see what he has to say. How's it going, guys? Sin back here with another interview from Maisa of Färjestad. So, you guys managed to win game 2 against Linköping, and you nearly got away with another victory there in game 3. Now, unfortunately, your backs are against the wall. You need to win 3 in a row. What are your thoughts about, yesterday's games, and what are your preparations going into today?
Well, the ending of the first game was really tough for us. I think that we played like 2.5 really good periods where we kind of had them where we want them. unfortunately they got that first goal after the bounce, and then they got the second goal, and then when they scored the third goal, it was over, I guess. And then through the second game, they were like on us from the start, and we were kind of almost down after the first game, so we didn't have our minds on the right path. But as you said, now our backs is against the wall, and there's only one way, and that's forward.
Yeah, definitely. Always tough giving up those leads late. Is there anything specific that you've, kind of been surprised about comparing your theory of how to play against Linköping and, how they come out and play against you on the ice?
Well, they are like really trying to play that four-man trap on the blue line, and of course we knew that they are very skilled players, and that we cannot give them anything for free because they will, score on every chance we give them almost. So not really surprising, but we knew that they were really good, and but we know that if we play a good game, we can challenge them, and as we've seen in both the second game and the third game, we know that we can compete with them, and hopefully we can take 3 in a row. But it will be really hard, but we will do our best, and as we have the mindset through the whole playoffs that we have everything to win, and it's the same for tonight, and hopefully we can play at our highest level, and then we know that we can beat these guys.
Yeah, so everyone, kind of enjoys an underdog story, me and Tugi especially, and it seems like in chat, you guys have tons of fans coming out to support Färjestad every time you guys are live on stream. Do you guys have any, words for the fans who tune in to cheer for you, especially on a day like today when your backs are against the wall?
Well, of course, it's always good to have our fans in our backs, with our backs. So, and we are like kind of reading the comments, and they are like cheering for us both on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So we really enjoy the support that we get, and hopefully we can bring them some joy tonight as well.
Absolutely. Well, no matter whatever way the series turns out, I mean, you sure turned some heads here, and you put on one heck of a show for everyone. So we thank you for your time here, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you. Bye.
Interesting, of course, to hear from these players. Misa, I mean, he's feeling a bit confident there. He's feeling like it's possible, but it will be tough. I mean, Linköping, no pushovers here as we start to get a look at the winger matchup, and of course, dangerous as always. Afe, playmaker, the goal scorers here. Keno, these guys, a bit better than the rest of us, perhaps. Who do you see really kind of stepping up here in such pivotal games moving forward?
Oh boy, putting me on the spot here. I mean, I believe everybody have. I mean, this is a very diplomatic answer, but every one of these guys has a opportunity and a skill level to step up here. But I mean, honestly, I gotta go with Eki here, just because of the experience of being in these tough games before, and they played both live and online for so long. Not to take anything away from the other guys.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, the chemistry is definitely important.
Yeah, I have to say, I mean, somebody that comes to mind as a physical player, aside from scoring goals, Bastian or Bastian, really big hits we saw, especially in the first 2 games, or the second. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. It was in the Yip series. There was that one particular hit where he managed to injure one of the Yip players' defenders with a clean hit, and after that, just a moment later, scored one of the most important goals of that series. I'm looking forward to more of those big hits that can change the way the game's played.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a big hit can change the momentum, it can change possession, and it can change the scoreboard, as we saw there from Bastian in that game. So he has definitely the propensity to sort of make those big things happen. But speaking of big things happening, we did get a chance to talk to Eki before this game. So let's see what he had to say about this matchup. How's it going, guys? Sin here, back again with an interview from Eki. And, I got to ask, you guys survived a bit of a you guys get deeper into the playoffs here, do you guys like are feeling like more and more pumped up, like as the the chance for like another championship appearance gets more real?
Yeah, of course.
How's it going, guys? Sin here, back again with an interview from Eki. And, I got to ask, you guys survived a bit of a scare there in game 3. At any point were you guys worried about dropping that game and getting behind in the series, or were you pretty confident about your ability to come back?
I got to be honest, in the third period there, where it seemed like we didn't get any bounces and we didn't get the goals. At least I was a little worried. I didn't want to be down 2-1 against Färjestad, but luckily we got that game turned around, and I think that really got the momentum on our side and got it rolling in game 4 as well. And I think it's our series to lose right now.
Absolutely. And, you guys seem to keep getting like better and better and taking more and more control as the series moves forward. As you guys get deeper into the playoffs here, do you guys like are feeling like more and more pumped up, like as the, the chance for like another championship appearance gets more real?
Yeah, of course our goal is to win, and, we want to be in the final, so for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So, it looks like your team, like especially in the last couple of games, you're almost on cruise control, like really dominating play, really taking all the puck possession. How do you guys kind of stay focused here and keep the same intensity going forward to close this series out?
Well, it's the playoffs, and like I said, we want to win, so we will do our best in every game. There's no one is losing focus or anything. It's all out every game. Play every game. It's like game 7. So yeah, we should be good.
Absolutely. So one more little question here before we wrap things up. Defensemen, especially J-Tor and Loimu, while they haven't been able to put up the points, they seem to be really containing that long breakout pass and containing off-phase speed. Has that been something you guys talked about throughout this series?
Yeah, for sure. We know they're primarily their offense comes from the counterattack. So of course our defensemen got to be ready. We saw what they did against Jup. Färjestad got bunch of like 2-on-1 breakaways against them. So we kind of scouted that, and our defensemen know that they have to be back. And if they're up in the offense, then we have to have forwards back to cover them. So, yeah.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate your time here, and good luck today, and hopefully close it out and see yourselves in the championship again.
Yeah, thanks, Sin.
Yeah, I really enjoy these interviews. These are great interviews. I love the honesty as well. Just Eki completely honestly saying that didn't maybe in that game 3 believe in a comeback anymore, and this is the stuff of kind of stuff that's really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really cool to get the behind the scenes kind of info from these guys. Often we can speculate as much as we want what may be going on in party chat, but once we know, I mean, it's so easy to look at a team like Linköping and say, oh, they're machines, man. They always believe in themselves because they always seem to find a way to come back. But then you hear, yeah, we were doubting it. We couldn't get a bounce. We were frustrated. And, definitely another side to the machine, the well-oiled machine that is Linköping, as we get a look here at the defenseman matchups there. And, I was really interested to hear about, J-Toro and Loimu, that, why, especially J-Toro, just not simply getting the points that he wants, but you need to have someone back there constantly, trying to watch out for those long stretch passes, because Färjestad, they get a little bit of time and space and they will make you pay.
Yeah, I mean, it's you hear this a lot. I think we saw it in the series between hREDS and Unlucky Boys as well, where I spoke to one of the players afterwards, and it was the critical face-off where Unlucky Boys had the lead in Game 7 with 20 seconds to go on a power play, and they had agreed to go back, but and not give any opportunity to hREDS, but somehow they still managed to pull that off. So the theory can be there, but if you're not executing, you're in for trouble. So I think that's a critical part, especially for the Linköping defense tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only knowledge with application is wisdom here, and Rubitus Totali really applying their offensive strength here, which we just simply didn't see a lot of in the season here. And it's very impressive to sort of see them stepping up and contributing to a Färjestad team that had such good offense. But we can't forget about their defensive nature as well. I mean, for the most part, they've done a really good job of keeping Linköping off the scoreboard. I know that's weird to say with Linköping having a lead on the series and some of the goal totals they're able to put up, but with the time and attack and the shots they're putting up, it could have been much worse for the men between the pipes here, which brings us to the goaltender matchup here between Rundqvist and Kape. And we can see here, Kape's number is probably not where he wants them, but that's just, a symptom of not allowing a ton of shots, controlling the pace. And the shots you do see are point blank one-timers, breakaways, 2-on-1s. So the face of season 10 here, having to face the worst possible chances there. But Rundqvist, continuing to be a rock back there and providing his team what you need your goalie to provide. And that's a chance to win every game.
Yeah, I mean, you can stare at stats all you want, but if you want to go to a cliche, a win's a win, right? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, at this moment, Kape is just one win away from the finals. But Rundqvist has given us a lot of good saves, and his team has gotten a true opportunity to fight for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen Rundqvist make some tremendous saves here, and sometimes one after another, but a man can only do so much, and it seems like Linköping just at times have the puck in the Färjestad zone for just so much time, and it's hard to kind of deal with that. But I do think Färjestad has done a good job for the most part containing it. But there's only so much you can contain when it comes to Linköping. Their attack just comes at you in so many different ways, and the individual players as well are just ridiculously strong. Playmaker keeps scoring. Eki, he's finding ways to score. He's assisting on seemingly every single goal, and then you have Patslov there. When you think you're going to get a counterattack, there's almost a third defenseman back there, and Patslov, this 2 seconds after he was forechecking you and pressuring you, he seems to be everywhere on the ice here. So Färjestad definitely having their work cut out for them, and it's going to be tough. But if there is a team who can somehow come back, it's going to be the 8th seed dark horse here in Färjestad, who could put up one hell of a fight, because it doesn't seem to matter what the stats are. Sometimes they find a way to do things, and it looks like we will be getting into the gameplay shortly between Färjestad and Linköping. The conclusion to the semi-finals matchup coming today, whether it takes one game or a full 3. But there you can see the updated brackets here. Linköping up 3-1. HAVU Gaming up 3-1 over hREDS as well. It's looking like the stage is set right now for the potential rematch in the finals. But hREDS, Färjestad both want to have something to say about that. I don't know, Ken, do you see any upsets happening?
I mean, they sort of need miracles to make that happen. But I mean, if you need that to happen, especially, I mean, I would say Färjestad is in a terrible position right now. But they've done it before, so why not? And the second series between HAVU and Reds, Reds down 3-1, but honestly, the series could easily be 2-2. Every game in that series has ended with a 1-goal differential, and 3 out of 4 games have gone to overtime. So, if the tides just turn just a little bit, that series could go another way. I spoke to the hREDS GM, Krister Kasurinen, after the games yesterday, and he was convinced that his team is gonna turn it around. So let's see if he's right about that one.
All right, well, looks like the teams have matched up. We will be getting into game very shortly here, so chat, get ready. I already see the emote span, the battle between the fans, Färjestad and Linköping. Which team has more support there in chat? I want to see you guys keep spamming those emotes right there throughout this entire game. Both of these teams need your support. Linköping trying to punch their ticket back into the finals, and Färjestad trying to complete the unexpected, the improbable, what many would consider impossible, getting the 3 straight wins to advance to the finals here. Only time will tell what will happen here, but I can tell you it's going to be an exciting game here. And you know Linköping is going to want to take it to Färjestad, continue where they picked off in the last 2 games. And here we are, opening face-off moments away. Kenny, if you have any thoughts, how do you think this game's going to go? Do you think Färjestad's going to find that time and space they need?
Yeah, that's. I'm really looking forward to this game. I mean, I think the most important part you said before about the great defensive game that Färjestad has been able to pull off here in this series, and I spoke to Maisa about this earlier today as well. In my opinion, the most important part for them is to not be surprised by the attacks of Linköping. If they can set up properly and they have the time to set up, I think their defense is really strong. But what we saw at the end of Game 3 yesterday was that, that was really
close chance in the beginning.
What we saw there was that they were playing it a little bit safe and lost the puck at the worst possible time. And when you have to defend the counterattack, it's a whole different beast.
Absolutely. Speaking of counterattacks here, Färjestad trying to get their way back into the Linköping zone after a couple scary moments there in their own zone. A deflection bid for Afe, saved by Kappa, and here come Linköping back on the attack. A great strip right there from Maisa in the neutral zone. He retains possession, sends it all the way over to Bastian, who gains his own, trying to protect the puck, being harassed there by J Toro, but they hold the zone. This is what Färjestad didn't have a lot of in the previous 2 games. A great saucer pass there. Eki just couldn't get a stick on it. I saw a bit of a bump right there from Totali. A good job right there, sort of nullify that. A deflection bid between the legs of Rundqvist. Playmaker going for a whack at it, but he closes the legs and covers the puck there. Bit of a couple scary moments at both ends right here, and a big important face-off coming up. If Potsdam can hold the zone, Linköping can start sort of snowballing that offense's own time. Eki, one-timer by Loimu, goes just wide. Afe looking for the breakout here. Over to Bastian, trying to protect that puck. Playmaker with the intercept in the zone. Over to Afe, working his way through. Passes it back to Rubitus. Rubitus down low to Maisa. Maisa across to Afe, looking for the backhand, just doesn't go through. Potzlaff with the recovery in the defensive zone, and Linköping will look to break things out. Passed over to Loimu, who leads the rush. Back over to J Toro with a bit of space, finds Potzlaff, and they gain the zone. The one-time bid! Oh, Playmaker hits the post or the side of the net. That one was inches away, and here it comes. The Omaha pass, but a good job. You can see there, Linköping defense. They're making sure they won't get beat on them. Both J Toro and Loimu back there to defend.
That was a close one.
Absolutely.
But a good example of how quickly FBK tries to go for the counterattack.
There's one chance at one end, they look for the other one, and if you're a defenseman, you have to be looking for that at all times. Good job there by J Toro and Loimu to prevent that from happening, getting the icing call, but they couldn't sustain pressure with a face-off win. Good job in the neutral zone there, getting the deflection. We'll see if they can enter the zone. Eki protecting the puck. Nice spin move there, but good positioning from Rubitus and good gap. I don't think made a poke, but he got some incidental contact there for the recover, and he sends it to Afe on that left wing side. Passes it back now to the middle to Maisa. Afe recovers after the loose puck. A nice shot attempt there from Bastian, but blocked down. Now Eki leading the rush back the other way. Nice pass to the middle for Playmaker, who tries the sauce over to Potzlaff. Just couldn't come up with it. And Bastian leading the rush back the other way. Trying to get around J Toro. He succeeds in that, but a good job from J Toro to get the puck back out. And here we see a 3-on-2 developing for Linköping. They gain the zone. Down low to Eki. Up top to J Toro, just can't quite get the shot up. The puck is still in the zone. Great job from Playmaker to hold that in. That could be bad. Good job from Potzlaff there, sneaking back to hold a line there. And that's what Linköping, they want to do. They want to make sure they always have 2 guys back. You heard Eki say it. We can't afford breakaways. We can't afford 2-on-1s. We can't afford to give Färjestad's counterattack any momentum. I'd say so far, they're doing a good job of it.
Couple of good hits there also from Färjestad to really get a potential counterattack going there, but good defense from Linköping.
Great intercept right there from Eki to sustain some of the pressure. Rubitas sending it back around. Bastion in the corner. Looked like Playmaker was thinking he was going to pass back to his defenseman. Good patience right there for him to not get another turnover in the zone. Another thing that Färjestad just simply can't afford is giving Linköping all those turnovers they want, and a tough offsides right there. A bouncing puck, a hot potato there at the blue line, and it puts Playmaker offsides as they tried to break it in here. But so far, so good for Färjestad. You haven't surrendered a goal, and you're avoiding Linköping completely dominating you in your own zone. So sort of an ideal start, but here they come again. Down low to Playmaker, looking for the wrap chance, out to Patsoff, an in-tight shot, saved by Rundqvist. He did not cheat over to the side where Eki was sitting for a one-time chance. Excellent job by him, trusting his defense to maybe get that intercept or at least deflect the pass. That is, I got to tell you, one of the hardest things as a goaltender is to not kind of move in that situation. Your nerves just feel like they're on fire, and you want to do something and move, but good job from him.
Yeah, that's why I can't play goalie. You
just
have to have the patience for that.
Absolutely. Playmaker entering the zone once again. Linköping starting to gather some steam. Oh my goodness, a tic-tac pass. Great pass out front to Patsoff, who sends it to Playmaker, and who else would get the opening goal but Playmaker. 1-0 Linköping.
Really nice tic-tac-toe finish there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just seemed like it just happened so quickly, and that's the danger of Linköping. If you don't get that collapse completely on time and sort of box them out, they can get those quick little plays going, and right there, not much Rundqvist could do. Playmaker burying it, and 1-0 Linköping here. Färjestad in a position they didn't want to be. It's very hard to play from behind against Linköping, especially when they've done such a good job defensively to sort of nullify your counterattack here. The period will end, and after one, Linköping takes the lead into the dressing room, and Färjestad, while they have looked pretty good throughout this, they haven't been overly dominated, at least by the eye test. Stats may tell a bit of a different story here, but I kind of liked their play a lot. They got some chances, at least, at the other end.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, but it looks like there's some nerves there. I felt like a little bit more patience with the passing of FBK could do them some good, especially on the entry. Just a little bit too much forcing, and understandably, I mean, I'm shaking right here in the booth just looking at these important games, and we see Eki having a -1 pass assist.
Wow. And as yesterday, he was at like 90 something. I don't know. He changes that around a lot.
Yeah,
and
I was checking that yesterday. That's very interesting.
I should have asked him.
Documenting this.
Yeah. What was I doing? I didn't even ask him that in the interview. I am slipping here. But, I mean, you can see there from the stats, only one registered shot from Färjestad, but they had at least a minute of time on attack. So it wasn't like they were below that, getting that 20 to 30 seconds that we saw a couple times yesterday after the first against Linköping there. So they're able to get into the zone. And, I think if they throw a few more on net, maybe use Afe's speed to crash the net on the rebound, as tough as that may be to get around the collapse of Linköping, could really benefit them here. But yeah, you mentioned they were kind of forcing the play at the blue line there. That was a good look, the kind of bank pass off the boards, but unfortunately the puck pickup just kind of put himself off sides right there, and the faceoff goes in the neutral zone on the other line. Eki enters the zone. Patsoff back to the point. Dangerous pass right there. Mizo's sitting right there for a little intercept, but in front chance. Playmaker can't get it, and 2 men are down for Linköping. That was a huge chance for Färjestad, but they can't connect on the stretch pass there. A bit of a missed opportunity. And here we go, sends it back to the other side, unable. Good defensive play by Rubitas, who now looks to lead the breakout. Miza gets it. They have a bit of a, there we go. There's the shot, looking for the rebound for Afe on that other side. Just a good kick right there for Linköping. They avoid the potential rebound just sitting out front, and you don't want Afe to get that puck sitting right in front of the goaltender. It seems like he will score every single time. A good area pass right there, and Bastion will win the race to the puck, but a tremendous chop right there from Jay Torrell. Deflection bid from Afe goes just wide. And you say Koppe coming out a bit to challenge that, something that you don't see too much in the ECL scene when it comes to goaltenders, but he really doesn't want to get beat on one of those deflections. And good job by him.
I remember getting some advice from a North American player in the chat, so maybe Koppe has been reading.
Oh, man. We might see some adjustments on the fly. The meta is shifting as North America and Europe begin the talk. They're learning. We got to keep them separated and segregated here, or otherwise they'll just both become too OP.
All right. Just for the record, I was joking. But yeah, I mean, ooh, that's a close one.
Good chance right there. Afe tries to send that back out front. Playmaker here finds Eki. There's a 2-on-1 developing. Pass over to Patzlaff, and he buries it. Looked like that might have gone 5-0. Either way, the slightest of breakdowns from Färjestad on the rush. And Eki finding that little bit of space he needs to thread the pass through, as he so often does. And Patzlaff buries it 2-0 Linköping.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the deadly finish. I think that goes 5-hole. Perfect shot, perfect pass. And to make things worse for FBK, they just had a great scoring chance themselves, and now they're down by 2.
Yeah, and it just seemed that the tide can shift just so quickly. And unfortunately for Färjestad now, it's starting to get a bit dangerous here. Their playoff life's on the line, and they're now down 2-0, but they're not giving up yet. Entrance here, Bastian sends it back. The one time from Rubitus takes a little bit of a pinball bounce there in front, but still Kape able to keep that one out. Good attempt for a counterattack.
Those are a great opportunity. I think those are some of the best chances that FBK are going to have. If they can get one of those, they can get some momentum and get some self-confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. We heard it from Linköping there. They felt like the bounces in that game 3 weren't going their way. So if you're Färjestad right now, look for those bounces. A bounce can get you back in the game. A great intercept from Afe. Enters his zone, protecting the puck, tries to thread the pass through the Bastion, hits off of a skate. They still maintain pressure. Maiza tried to kind of throw that puck towards the middle, but it was blocked out. The counterattack from Linköping doesn't get too far as Färjestad trying to enter the zone again. A good step up there from J Toro to break that up, and now it's Playmaker into the zone on the half boards. Has the one-time option, but Toro didn't quite shoot it as quickly as I'm sure he wanted to. Bit of a delay. Patzlaff with a low shot stays out, and here come Färjestad once again. A bit of a 3-on-2 developing if they can hurry, get a chance. A great intercept right there from Patzlaff on the back check, and here, a near miss right there from Playmaker, and that's probably the last guy you want as a defenseman to see bearing down on you in a one-on-one situation.
Yeah, I think the situation we saw with Maise on the left dot there, trying to force that pass in the middle. Obviously, if that pass goes through, you can have a successful scoring chance. But if you keep losing the puck there, then it's not gonna develop your game. So.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's easy to say here from the studio, but
yeah, maybe
you should just try and cycle it a little bit more. Use the defenseman.
Yeah, either that or put one of those low shots on net or something like that, looking for that rebound as they did a bit earlier. And yeah, just if you're Färjestad, just try anything at this point. You're down in the series. Why not just go swing for the fences here and whatever you do and keep getting those chances. Good job defensively from Färjestad. And as you can see there, Eki back there doing a bit of the camera switch, making sure he's in front of Afe. Playmaker on the entry, has a deadly wrist shot, unable to get it off right there. Maiza entering the zone again with Afe, sends it to Afe. Back out front, looking for Bastion or anyone trailing, just doesn't work out. Afe can't get the shot away. He had Kape dead to rights on that short side, out of position, could not get the shot through. What a move by Playmaker. Oh, the one-timer sails just wide. Eki didn't quite get enough of it, or perhaps a good defensive skill stick to deflect it. Either way, stays out. The score remains the same, and Färjestad looking for the counterattack. Maiza, Afe, he's got some space. Can he split the defense? Cannot. About 3 different guys there. A great play right there. I believe that was Totali with the LB or the L1 right there to keep that out. Eki looking for the time and space. Can't get it. A bit of a miscommunication between the defensemen. A one-time out front. A secondary chance. The puck stays out. And Färjestad survive a late onslaught there from Linköping. They're still only down by 2, but that's still 2 goals against the defending champs. However, shots are even. Time on attack probably as even as it's been throughout this series so far. So you still kind of like the position for Färjestad. The unfortunate part is they haven't been able to score. The bounces don't seem to be going their way. So at this point, if it's not one thing, it's the other.
Yeah, and I see somebody climbing in from between the benches. Is that you, Tugi?
It is, surprisingly. Better late than never, I suppose.
How have the games looked from down there between the benches?
You know, I'm shocked that I'm shocked that the stats of the game thus far have been as close as they have been up to this point in time. But unfortunately, you know, as Sin's alluded towards quite a bit, for Färjestad right now, huge opportunity again. Sin, for Färjestad right now, they've had chances, they just haven't been able to bury them.
Yeah, and, you know, unfortunately for them, I mean, looking for sometimes maybe those high-quality chances, and then other times when they do shoot low looking for rebound, it's just kicked aside by Kape into a rough position for them, and Linköping just is able to start the breakout once again. So, bit unfortunate. The magic seems to be drying up for Färjestad, even though the effort and the performance is there in this game.
Still have plenty of time to work with here in the third period. Going to be a little bit difficult. Huge chances yet again. It was Loimo on the doorstep, just not able to bury that secondary chance there. Färjestad back in on the attack. Smooth transition here, sitting perhaps a little bit awkward. I know it's a bit awkward for me to be like, hey, I'm here. Play-by-play. Also a bit awkward. Playmaker in alone. Scores! How's that kickoff? Play-by-play. Jumping into the middle of the game here at the third period. What a way to start. He got his playmaker burying it on a breakaway, and Sin, if it wasn't looking like it was over for Färjestad before that, it's certainly looking like it's over now.
Absolutely grim, and you saw Bastion with the desperation dive right there, not trying to get the puck, but trying to trip Playmaker before he enters the zone, because at that point, it won't count as a penalty shot, just preferring to take a 2-minute penalty than to have Playmaker one-on-one with your goaltender. I think that speaks volumes to how these players feel about Playmaker and the goal-scoring prowess he possesses. But unfortunately here, Färjestad now down 3-0 here, down in the series 3-1. Their playoff lives slipping before our very eyes.
Absolutely in danger here, and there's another one, a misery compiler. It's Playmaker again. Sin, you said it was slipping away before our very eyes. It's gone. It's out of here. It's over the wall. And Linköping, it's just a matter of time until they officially clinch their spot and return to the finals. Playmaker scores another one. It's all but over.
Yeah, and a tough one for Rundqvist there. He's in decent position, but the just how fast that pass was and how perfectly placed Playmaker found in that soft spot there, as you see Rundqvist trying to get over in time, but it's just not enough reaction time. I don't know if any human could have got over for that one, but you know, it's, as you said, the playoff lies pretty much dead and gone at this point. It's just kind of a matter of if Linköping wants to keep pressing here, and it looks like they do. There's no quit in this team.
Färjestad, if anything, a little bit lucky to see that one go offside. Playmaker on the hat trick already, and a potential opportunity at getting another one there, and he still might. There's plenty of time. If you're Färjestad right now, you have nothing to be ashamed of based on, you know, really what's gone down this season, the effort that you've shown all year long. But right now, eventually, I mean, Sim, we talked about it yesterday in terms of turning back into a pumpkin. It's happened. The Cinderella story is going to be ending here. Chance now for Playmaker over the line yet again. Has Eki with him. Cuts back. Dishes it off to Eki. Options. Potsloff scores. What a pass. Sin, I know we were rooting for Linköping at times, because how can you not root for the underdog story? They are getting ripped to shreds here.
Yeah, poor Färjestad. Just it's, as you said, I mean, this is probably stat-wise one of their better performances in this series, perhaps even of the playoffs. And what's the reward for their trouble? Oh, another 5-goal deficit as they faced in game one. And that's a tough way to kind of go out here when, you know, you have so many fans in chat right now. But if I take a look, I bet you I would still see people pumping out those Färjestad emotes, because you know what? The support for this team goes beyond the scoreboard. People are loving what they're seeing right now. And you know what? Congrats to Färjestad, no matter how this turns out. You know, it's you put on a hell of a show here in the postseason.
I mean, taking down the number 1 seed in Jyväskylä in the way that they did it, no easy feat. Some might call it a fluke. I would disagree. It was the adjustments on the fly that got them there. Potsloff, another chance. Rundqvist able to stop that one, though. Chance now again for Färjestad here on the counterattack. Maisa not able to hold on to this one. Chance here, 2-on-1. Playmaker, and Eki, the shot denied. Playmaker just letting one go. Shot from Jay Toro, blocked down in front. He's still fighting for it. Färjestad able to recover. 9 minutes to go here in the third period of Game 5. As we see a penalty called here, it's going to be Linköping going to the kill. So there's a good chance for Färjestad to at least get on the board, kind of ruin Kape's stat line in defeat. This would be the way to do it.
Absolutely, and I think you'd want to do it. Linköping is going to try to run up the score. That's just it's not a, disrespect by them. It's just like, we want stats. We want to beat you. We're going to make sure we beat you. And, Färjestad, your chance now to kind of play spoiler here, spoil his shutout, get yourselves on the board, retain a little bit of that pride, show that you can and will score on this team.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens here. Rubatasi has a goal or two in this series, but again, right now, it's not really looking too good. Opportunity there, stopped by Kappa somehow. Bastion not able to bury that one with the traffic in front. One of the best opportunities of the game.
Yeah, and it's tough for them. Normally, we say normally, but it seems like they've had such an abnormal run. That would have gone in for Färjestad, but yeah, you said it. Just the bounces have turned against them, and even though they're having a pretty decent game stat-wise,
short-handed, the windmill just doesn't go. Dishes it back to the point. Deflection bit for Potzloff. Brunkvist actually made the stop. I was trying to track down the puck. It was in the glove. Chance here for Färjestad off the spin again, though. Potzloff in on the back check. Just 25 seconds to go on the man advantage, as Eki will send that one all the way down. 6.5 remaining here again in the third period. And in this series, barring the most ridiculous comeback we've ever seen. I mean, you never say never, Sin, although 99% of people are going to say never. Playmaker, a secondary chance on it. They're off of the contact, just not able to get a piece of it. Here's Offa with a little bit of space. Hasn't gotten a ton of space at points in time in this series. Kappe, though, takes away the rebound opportunity. Färjestad still in on the attack here, though. They send it down low in front. Offa just wide of the post. Loimo recovers for Linköping. We'll see what they can do on their counterattack. Again, this third period, been all them. Slap shot, loose puck, still. Rundqvist able to make the cover. 2-on-2 now the other way as he plays it out. Chance here, Bastion in front for Offa, and Kappe makes another stop. So, I mean, fair play to Färjestad. Shot on and another stop by Kappe. Fair play to Färjestad here. Not completely giving up, getting some good opportunities. Just Linköping is there right now and able to really kind of make the stops. Kappe.
And you feel like if Färjestad got some of these chances like earlier in the series, half of those would probably go in, but it's just, again, they just don't seem to quite have the same luck or favoritism or execution, if you will, the finishing. Sometimes it just comes down to that. Great job from Offa to beat out that icing, though.
Absolutely. Final minute of play here. This is it for Färjestad's season. Hell of a move there by Potzloff, just not able to pull it through. Comes Färjestad yet again, still playing for a little bit of pride, wanting to at least get on the board here. Thrown across, nobody home. Offa is able to recover down low in the corner. Bastion not able to find it, as it's Jay Toro leading the charge the other way. Playmaker in all alone, can't tuck it home, just throws it on. Tried to beat Rundqvist 5-hole. As Potzloff still fighting forward as well. Has it down low. Eki between the legs off the post. I mean, Sin, you can tell there's a little bit of restraint here from Linköping. Not necessarily being, done in a malicious way. But, I think everyone knows, like, okay, they probably could have scored on a couple of these occasions. But really, is there a reason to?
Yeah, they kind of, perhaps went for some fancy plays. If you're going to score late in a game that's already over, might as well put it on a highlight reel. And we can see good forecheck right there. A huge hit from Bastion. Oh, my goodness. But I think he took a penalty there. And
he
1
did.
second left.
1 second to go here in the third period of Game 5. It is, I believe, going...
Oh, Offa.
It's going to be Offa indeed going to the box. You never know. With Ian Bastion, 33-23, you got a jersey tuck. It can make it difficult to really detect there. But with that, Linköping officially punching their ticket back to the championship round. They will have the opportunity to defend their title as they knock out Färjestad in 5 games. The Cinderella story comes to a close. The underdog, well, they're an underdog for a reason. They don't often, go all the way in this instance. Sin, it would have been similar to say if the U.S. 1980 Olympic team lost in the final. It's like, yeah, but you remember that huge upset. Yeah, unfortunately, that's why we remember in sports a team like the 1980 U.S. hockey team, because not only did they pull off the upset, they went all the way. And unfortunately for Färjestad, it just wasn't in the cards. Linköping, as we suspected, a tremendous opportunity to make it all the way back to the final to, again, have the opportunity at retaining their title. And indeed, they'll have the chance to do so.
Yeah, and you know what? Fair play to Färjestad. Like I said, I honestly think statistically that was one of their best games of the series, and they couldn't score. So it's very interesting how things kind of how things play out, especially in one of these weird situations that you don't see too often. One of these underdog teams comes up and sort of surprises everyone in one way, and then in a game like today, when they actually are getting more zone time, more shots, more chances, then all of a sudden they don't score. It's very curious how these things play out. Hockey gods are real. I will not hear any heresy in chat. Hockey gods exist, and if you disagree, you're wrong.
Absolutely. That's the only way I can, you said it perfectly. I can't possibly disagree. So with that, again, I'll say if you missed it, because I missed a decent portion of it, and again, apologies for that, a little bit of a family matter, but hey, we're here now, we're focused, and we're doing what we have to do here. Sin is going to get a word here with a member of the winning side. I do believe... Actually, I don't know if we have word on who the interview is going to be at this point in time, but Sin will be getting to talk with a winning member of Linköping. As again, they have punched their ticket back to the championship round. We are not done yet with the action, of course, in this broadcast. We still need to find out who Linköping's opponent is going to be. The series between HAVU Gaming and hREDS currently at a 3-1 series lead for HAVU. Otherwise, we wouldn't be covering them in this broadcast because it would have been a clean sweep. So hREDS finding a way to survive. They still have a long way to go. So again, more on that series in just a little bit. For now, though, we continue our focus on the series that has just reached its conclusion. Again, Linköping winning this game in dominant fashion and are now moving on to the final. Sin, I mean, we can sit here and talk about Färjestad and how close they were, because it is one hell of a story. But at the end of the day, as we really shift our focus here, and as I mentioned again, you'll be getting a word with a member of the Linköping squad here. Eki is going to be joining us in just a few moments. When you talk about this team, the amazing comeback last year, we witnessed, this team be one of the best in the league throughout the season. You get into the playoffs, dominant first round, and really, for the most part, a dominant performance against Färjestad, aside from one game. This final game here in this series was close, but at the end of the day, again, you see the difference between the two. Is Linköping able to really just kind of dominate and earn their way to victory off the back of that third period, where it almost just seemed like they're up 2-0 heading into that period, and just at the start they're just like, all right, we're ending this. Yeah. I'm not saying they were toying with their food, but that just seemed like to them, it's like, okay, this is done. And we talked to Eki actually, heading in the games 3 and 4 yesterday, and it really was the word for him of, we know what mistakes we made in game 2, we're not going to make them again. And needless to say, they did not make them again.
Yeah, and it got a bit scary for them in the game 3, and we heard that today in Eki's interview how they felt like the bounces weren't going the way, and they were legitimately worried. And again, I brought that up with Kenu here. It's interesting. We look at Linköping as just this unflappable machine that's just so good, but yet they had doubts about that comeback until maybe they got that first goal off a bounce and it started to get their own juices flowing. But yeah, a bit of worry from the defending champs, in that, in danger of going down 2-1 in that game. But they with the comeback there, and then a couple more great performances here, and they end the series the same way they started it, with a 5-0 shutout here, and again, punch their tickets into the finals, and we'll see who they're facing. But as it stands right now, it's the likeliest opponent will be that rematch in HAVU. But again, with how close everything's been, the way things can shift so easily here, you never know. All those overtimes, hREDS, maybe they start to get some of the bounces their way.
Again, you want to talk about hREDS in overtime. Preferably not. Preferably not. That would be my suggestion. I think hREDS have been involved in enough overtimes for 2 or 3 postseasons as it stands at this point. But again, a look at the bracket. Again, Linköping punching their ticket back to the final. We'll see who joins them in just in the next little bit here. Of course, we'll be getting to that series again. We still want to get a word here with Eki, setting that up behind the scenes, and then we'll be going down in just a matter of moments. But again, Linköping moving on. 5 games over Färjestad off the back of their tremendous upset And when you talk about Linköping, all things considered, again, extremely intrigued to see how this goes down moving forward, because it's certainly an interesting matchup regardless of who moves on. So with that, Sin, I don't know if we're 100% good to go here. I believe we are. I'll turn things over to you.
And it looks like we should be. We have Eki joining us here in the booth here, fresh off of the win there to advance to the finals once again. So, obviously, simple question first. You guys are back in the finals. How does it feel to be right back there with the chance to defend your title?
Of course, it feels always amazing. It was a tough series. It's been a great season for us, so it's great to be in the finals again. Great game. Against Färjestad, they really had a run there, beating Jup. Lots of respect for that, and giving us a real challenge in the semifinal.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you guys shut them out 5-0 in that one. And same thing, in the beginning of the series, kind of interesting how you begin the same way you ended there. But interestingly, at least for us, in the booth, when we look at all the stats and stuff, because, that's what we do. We kind of break it down like that. They had probably more time on attack and shots than they'd really gotten at any point in the series, yet they weren't able to score. Were they just kind of, throwing stuff on net, or were you guys, keeping them out to the outside? Or was it just one of those things where bounces weren't in their favor?
In the previous games when we were down, I think we played a lot more aggressive, so that's why Färjestad didn't get a lot of zone time. But this time we got the lead pretty early, so we played a little more passive defense, and I think that's why they got a little more zone time. But I think overall the games were pretty similar. Than yesterday, game 4. This felt really similar, this game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the eye test and how it feels, for the people on the ice definitely, kind of trump the stats right there. But, another question here. We saw Afe getting a couple in tight chances, but they came on the backhand there. And, he usually finds the soft spots. And when he's on the forehand, it's a lot more dangerous. Was that like a really, really, you guys obviously want to contain him. Was that something that you were more comfortable with allowing, him to get a backhand shot off rather than the forehand?
We didn't really think of that, to be honest. I think the backhand shots were off rebound, so that's just how your guy gets the puck there. So nothing really to say about that.
All right. So obviously, you mentioned, it was, respect to Färjestad and, how they did, gave you a challenge here in the series. If we saw you guys kind of at the end, doing some between the legs kind of stuff, and, obviously no disrespect for them, but, what's kind of the mentality? You guys kind of getting fancy there at the end, just trying to put on a show, or?
At the end of the day, it's a video game, and we like to have fun. So at the end there, when the game is already over, we like to try some fancy moves, maybe. Nothing much to it.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, it's, as one of my favorite hockey players like to say, fun must be always, and you guys definitely seem to have fun there at the end, and it's always fun to win and advance on to the championship. So we thank you for your time. Congrats once again. Are you guys gonna do any, some celebrating here before you start preparing for the finals?
Not really. We celebrate when we win, so that's the goal. We are expecting HAVU to be in the finals, so let's see how they do.
All right. Well, close eyes on the matchup. HAVU, if you're listening, Linköping is going to be watching you very carefully. So, Eki, thank you again very much for your time. Congrats on getting to the championship once again, and enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So here we are. Linköping will be one of your champions, or one of the guys in the championship, I should say. Well, words are hard here.
As defending champions with a chance to be champions. And again, the word championship round, it's just ever so present on the mind, son.
At least I didn't say Stanley Cup. So we got that going for it. I used up all my hosting juice earlier. So, yeah, please take over.
Fair enough. Absolutely. We will find out who goes to the unofficial Kenu Cup to take on Linköping, of course. I'm going to continue to fight for that cause, to have that be the official name. So, guys, with that, we do thank you very much for joining us for the first half of this broadcast. But again, a friendly reminder that we are not done. We will be back after a brief intermission. We now know one of the teams in the final. It's time to find out who the other one's going to be there. We will cover the remainder of the series between HAVU and hREDS. HAVU Gaming up 3-1 in that series. So much like we just saw, it may only take one could go all the way to 7. Time will tell, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and we're going to see who takes on Linköping in the final. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this continued presentation of the ECL Elite Division postseason right here on NHL Gamer. Brought to you as always by IS Sports and Prisma Gaming. My name is Doogie, joined as always by my broadcast partner Sin. And Sin, as one series ends, we know that Linköping are moving on to the final. As one series ends, now it's time to find out who they're going to be facing. It's HAVU and hREDS. HAVU with that 3-1 series lead, and looking to make their way back to the final. We talked about it all season long, their revenge tour. They're just one win away from making that a reality and getting a second shot at Linköping in the final.
Yeah, and just that one win, all that separates them, but how close this series has been between, hREDS and HAVU. I mean, this above anything else could honestly go either way. I mean, like I was alluding to, in the previous broadcast here, I mean, bounces. It can come down to bounces with how close it's been, with how many overtimes we've seen. And hREDS, really kind of putting some pressure on HAVU, yesterday. Even though they only came out with 2 wins, they could have easily won both of those games.
Absolutely. I mean, again, you talk about how close this series has been. Every game, if I'm not mistaken, Sin, correct me if I'm wrong, has been a 1-goal game up to this point. We've seen numerous overtimes in this series, and it is a little bit surprising. Of course, hREDS, it's been a story all season long, trying to make it, we thought initially it was going to be the big 2 with Linköping and HAVU. And then all of a sudden, Jypi Voskala make it a big 3. And we talked about, hREDS going to make this a big 4. They fall behind that pace a little bit. They go the distance against Unlucky Boys, Game 7 overtime to make it here. But now you see just how good they are. Sure, they're down 3-1 in the series, but that doesn't tell the full story. Again, every game being a 1-goal game, numerous overtimes in this series because, of course, that's just the way hREDS operate in the playoffs. And I wouldn't be surprised, of course, if we see the remainder of the games in this series also end up going to overtime, because that's just how the things have gone up to this point. But, you talk about, how closely contested these matchups have been. They're not out of place here. And as you mentioned, with bounces, perhaps a little bit of better luck, this could be a 2-2 series. Who knows what the series split could be. But regardless, we know the situation. They're down 3-1. But if you're hREDS, it has to be 1 game at a time.
Yeah, you just have to take it 1 game at a time. I mean, you played excellently yesterday. You're going to have to carry that over. And HAVU, they're going to want to step it up as well, because they don't want to see any more overtimes. They know just as well as us that a bounce can change everything. One little moment can change the entire length. You drop 1 game and then you give them, a breath of air, and then you drop a second game. All of a sudden, you're in a position where if you lose, you're out. And I mean, it can happen that quickly here as we take a look at the lineups.
Absolutely. So for hREDS, as I was going to say as always, but of course, not so much is the case. For HAVU, it's the same lineup as always, but for hREDS, of course, it's going to be Yoki Benito and Nicky Dangles up top. But Sin, yesterday, the story was King of Apes slotting into the lineup for Yanzu. And somehow, some way, despite a limited number of games played in the regular season, he joins this lineup and is an instant difference maker, allowing hREDS, a whole different look, a new variety of options, and his willingness to shoot the puck from the point led to success, particularly in the deflection department. Nicky Dangles as well, the net front presence, really benefiting from having King of Apes in this lineup.
Yeah, and he's, speaking of breaths of fresh air, he's been a big one there for hREDS, stepping up in huge ways for his squad there, and against a tough HAVU team who, as we said, has been on this revenge tour, and yes, are currently 1 win away, but could be, much, much closer in terms of where this series is. So if you're hREDS, you got to be confident in that, and if you're HAVU, you're going to have to be a bit careful.
Absolutely. So with that, let's bring it to the individual breakdowns here, as we often do. We're going to kick things off here. Of course, the center matchup. It is the captain of hREDS, Benito, against Dominointi, as you get a look, of course, at the stats. And again, 3 games difference right now. But, you talk about these two guys. Certainly more than capable players. We always talk about the two-way battle, the face-off battle. But it is an incredibly even matchup. as the stats really go to show. Of course, you give the edge to Dominointi based off a point per game, but still an incredibly even matchup, Sin.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Benito is huge for his team. Very, very important. And both of these guys are incredibly similar players. Their production is similar. You know, the way they produce, not tons of goals, plenty of assists, both relatively solid in the face-off dot. It's kind of gone back and forth throughout this series here, but you know, it's especially the defensive zone and offensive zone battleground as it needs to be, and both of them very effective on the back check and in the defensive zone. And I think both of them, yeah, as centers often do when you have those wings scoring a bunch, they don't get nearly enough credit as they deserve. So we got to talk them up here, especially.
Absolutely. So now mention here too, and honestly, it's something I thought you were going to get to, but earlier today, I know you were able to at least talk with Benito. We don't have this interview in video form, but what are his feelings? You know, the thoughts here, really kind of summing things up for hREDS as they get ready to, again, face a monumental task here, having to win 3 games in a row here tonight to make their way to the final.
Yeah, you know what? We asked him about that right off the bat. You know, they're currently down 3-1 in the series, but as we mentioned, every single game, one goal differential, and 3 out of 4 have gone to overtime. So, you know, we kind of was wondering, you know, how do they see the series so far and what they feel like they have to do to, you know, to start turning things around. And Benito, he said, you know what, the games have been really tight. They expected that. And even though the series is 3-1, he thinks they still have a strong chance of winning. Not just a chance, a strong chance. You know, they have to play, you know, the same way they did in that 4th game and just take it one game at a time and continue to believe in themselves. And, you know, we are able to ask one more question, you know, what the kind of elephant in the room, what do you need to change for your game to kind of, you know, get some wins here tonight? And he said, we just need to keep putting pucks on the net and not give them any free scoring chances. And you know what? I feel like they did that extremely well in game 4. And if they can continue that, I strongly believe that they have a chance to win as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the good thing here, the promising sign, if you're a fan of hREDS, is that they do have that optimistic attitude, that outlook heading into the rest of the series. And really, that's what you need to have, all things considered. So, and justifiably so for them to have that positive outlook, because as we mentioned, every game has been so close. So very intrigued to see them have that, you know, that kind of outset, you know, that mind look, you know, the mindset, the outlook, easy for me to say, because you need to, if you're going to pull off a comeback like this. That said, let's move over to the winger matchup now. As, of course, for HAVU Gaming, as always, it's Powanso and Flyer Kungen. For hREDS, Yoki and Nicky Dangles. Sin, what stands out for you here, you know, aside from a ridiculous amount of points amongst these 4?
Yeah, you know, it's just the danger that all of them sort of possess, no matter where they're on the ice. I mean, Nicky Dangles, we talk about him so much, but he absolutely deserved it. You know, sort of a prodigy there for hREDS. Only 16 years old, and he's, you know, 22 points in 11 games. That's 2 points per game. You know, Powanso doing the same thing. Flyer Kungen even more, but you know, hREDS a bit of a, you know, tougher road to get here. HAVU Gaming, you know, kind of coasting through that first round, especially, and I think the winger matchup might be one of the closest here throughout the playoffs so far. I mean, Yoki, Nicky Dangles, Powanso, Flyer Kungen, you might as well be holding up a mirror to either side.
Again, 4 extremely talented forwards, of course. And Sin, yet again, earlier today before this broadcast, you were able to get a word with the captain of the team, that being Flyer Kungen for HAVU Gaming. Intrigued to see what he thinks. It's been very interesting as well to be able to get the word with him throughout the series as it progresses, to really kind of get that mindset. That's one of the things that I've really liked about, you know, as we followed along with this postseason, is oftentimes we do get to hear from the same players, and it's interesting to see how the mindset changes, how the outlook changes, and really how they analyze their own game and their opponents as we progress throughout the postseason. So let's take it over to that now. Sin with Flyer Kungen.
What's up, guys? Sin back here again, this time with Flyer Kungen of HAVU Gaming. So, unfortunately for you guys, the undefeated streak here in the playoffs have ended. And, you know, in the last couple games, at times, it seemed like hREDS kind of got you caught in your own zone a bit. Were you guys maybe surprised by their ability to put some pressure on your breakout with their forecheck?
Well, what I can say, yeah, surely they played good. I agree with that. They played good yesterday, but we were not happy with our performance. We want to play better tonight and show that we can be a better team than what you guys saw yesterday. We we need to play better, and we need to understand that the opponent we are playing against is pretty good, and we can't underestimate them.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it seems like almost, every game between the pair of you has the potential to sort of go to overtime. And, most of them, it seems like they have. So does that sort of thing kind of affect your guys' mentality at all going into those games?
I don't think so, really. Like, it's we usually enjoy playing those tight games. And, like, it doesn't matter if it's 0-0 or 5-5 score when we go to overtime or not. Like, I just think we need to be mentally strong all the 60 minutes, and I think that's the key tonight. And be patient and stay calm whatever comes, because we have 3 games and we only need 1 win. So
yeah, definitely in the driver's seat. So hREDS, they've kind of really, improved their blue line security and are doing a good job kind of limiting your team's ability to gain the zone and, break it in to establish the cycle that you guys are so strong at. Do you guys have any adjustments in mind for today to sort of get around that?
All I can say is that you will see.
All right. Well, that's one way to end an interview. And I'm a little bit scared, and I'm not going to be out there playing against them. But thank you, Färjestad, for your time here, and best of luck wrapping up the series tonight.
Thank you.
All right, so again, always interesting to hear from Färjestad as these series progress. Or no, as these series progress. That was the right way to phrase it. That said, we move on. We progress to the defensive matchup here. And Sim, we talked about it. The addition of King of Apes into this lineup. He's alongside Teemu for hREDS. You have Nasu and Villikun, of course, for HAVU. And you see the instant impact that King of Apes had in that lineup. It is no disrespect, of course, to someone like Teemu or Nasu, really any of the defensemen included, but you see the instant impact. 3 points in those first 2 games yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like he was doing everything that he needed to do, and especially when it came to just throwing the puck on the net. And, Benito said they need to keep throwing the puck on the net, and King of Apes had no problem doing that. He brings a very kind of, a simple game, but sometimes that's what you need from a point guy there. Just someone who will throw the puck on the net, make the right breakout pass, protect the puck when he needs to, and not turn it over on the blue line. And, yeah, King of Apes did exactly that.
Indeed, and we'll see again how big of an impact he has on this series. Not often that you'll see a change like that, but again, whether or not it was strategic, I doubt it. I believe it's, extenuating circumstances that see Janzu outside of this series, but for hREDS to have a difference maker, a game changer that can step into the lineup, not every team has that luxury. We'll see if it pays off for hREDS as we move on. That said, let's switch things over to the goaltending matchup now as well. As for HAVU, we again see Hanselinho, as always, the main man between the pipes. And of course, Sim, we've talked about it a lot, Nicky, for hREDS. Again, questionable at times whether or not he was going to be their guy heading into the playoffs, at least from an outside perspective. But he has more than given his team a chance to win throughout this entire postseason.
Yeah, I mean, this might be one of the tightest goaltender duels that we will see in these playoffs. I mean, at least up to this point, no matter, the finals might get a little more interesting, but Hanselinho, Nikke, both of them just really good numbers. And they passed the eye test as well. Both of them have had to make some crazy saves there. And especially when we think back to the 2 games yesterday, Hanselinho at times had to sort of stand on his head because hREDS were just applying so much pressure there. As I was able to talk to Flyer Kungen about, and he wasn't happy with his team's performance. Hanselinho faced more work than he needed to, but that's why you want a great goaltender back there like Hanselinho, because if you do have a bad game or you're not playing your best, he can bail you out, and he did just that, getting them that split yesterday.
Absolutely. So again, game 5 on deck here in just a matter of moments. We will be covering this series until it reaches its conclusion. HAVU up 3-1 on hREDS as it stands. So it might just be one and done. Maybe hREDS work their way back. That said, Sin, let's move on to the keys to success for both sides. We'll be kicking things off with HAVU. And really, when it comes down to this, you're going to see a lot of similar points, of course, that we've covered in the past, but that's because those points are still relevant. For HAVU, we talked about it a lot. They have to stay aggressive. Sitting back isn't a strategy that often works in this league. And hREDS have shown that when you give them space, you give them opportunity, they're going to have the ability to make it a game. You have to see HAVU stay on them and really take it to them. That's what we saw with Linköping against Färjestad. You know, that killer instinct of we're ending this, we could have made it worse. That's where you want to be, if possible, of course. Now, getting the defense involved is also crucial. You have Nasu and Villikun, who are a very dangerous combination and a crucial piece to this offense. I look for them to still be aggressive and join the rush when the opportunity arises. That's, again, a big part, I would say, of HAVU's game. And then we talk about the counter to the counter. hREDS in games 3 and 4. They showed a tremendous ability to adjust on the fly, going from the trap game to saying, no, you know what? We're going all out aggressive. And that certainly worked for them. But that's also exploitable, you know, and being able to counter their counter of, oh, we're going to go aggressive now. HAVU can certainly take advantage of that. They have the skill to be able to do it. Time will tell, though, if they do. Sin, what are the keys for hREDS here?
Well, the first key here is it might as well have just been copy and pasted. It's stay disciplined. We've talked about it throughout the season when we've covered them, and especially now in the postseason. hREDS, they can be their own worst enemy when it comes to, you know, some of their aggression backfiring. During the season, they were last in hits. They are hitting, you know, a bit more here in the playoffs, but it's mostly their stick work that gets them into trouble. They're going to have to be proactive here and to stay out of the box. They did a bit of a better job there in games 3 and 4, but they can't rest on their laurels here and relax. They're going to have to keep making a conscious effort to stay out of the box. Next key here is on the fly. hREDS have displayed a great ability so far, especially in the last 2 games, to adapt, you know, in the middle of a game and start putting the pressure on. And they did that continuously in game 3 and 4, you know, easily could have been a 2-0 in their favor and an even series today. But unfortunately, it didn't quite pan out to be that way. They're going to have to willing to do that again today if they're going to want to find a way back into the series and try to force that game 7. The last key here is Top Banana, and we talked about him a bit when it came to the matchups. We're going to talk about him here again because he absolutely deserves it. King of Apes, a breath of fresh air into this lineup here, coming in as a sub and having a huge impact. 3 assists in 2 games, and the most important thing is you didn't notice him in a negative way. Didn't make any big mistakes. He did what he needed to do, played a simple game. And, you know, if he can have as big of an impact throughout the rest of this series here, he will give hREDS a fighting chance.
Absolutely. So with that, we are, again, just about ready to go. Sharkington certainly knows my my common phrases, but hey, what are you going to do? Not self-conscious at all, I swear. If you watched the beginning of this broadcast, you would have seen Linköping taking game 5 over Färjestad and securing their spot in the final yet again as defending champions. The team they met in the final last year, HAVU Gaming, just 1 win away from securing that rematch. Again, Linköping, at least in the case of someone like Playmaker, 4 straight trips to the finals, if I'm not mistaken. A modern-day dynasty indeed. But again, whether or not it will be HAVU or hREDS, that is still undecided. Although certainly a betting man would be siding with HAVU to make it back to the final. And Sin, regardless of who makes it through here, of course, we don't want to look too far ahead. But regardless of who makes it through here, it's going to be one hell of a matchup and one hell of a series, whether or not it is HAVU or hREDS going up against Linköping in the final.
Absolutely. I mean, hREDS have proved, at least here in the playoffs, that yes, it still might be that big 4, and yes, they do belong here, even though they had a tough run against Unlucky Boys. But at this point, with how close hREDS are making these games against HAVU, it's more of a credit to Unlucky Boys there, and I feel a bit vindicated in some of my support for them later in the season, pushing for them to make a wave in the playoffs. But yeah, you said it. I mean, whoever makes it here into the finals, it's going to be a tight matchup against the defending champs here. And HAVU definitely looking to be the ones there. And we heard it from Flyer Kung, and he is determined, maybe a little bit upset. And I do not want to get in the way of an upset Flyer Kung, and that's for sure.
Absolutely not. A runaway freight train in the offensive zone in terms of the forechecking ability. But of course, that can get you into penalty trouble at times. So that's going to be a crucial aspect of this game, is the penalty situation and whether or not either of these 2 teams can keep their discipline. But Sin, you kind of mentioned it. You know, at times we were certainly rooting for the underdog, not actively rooting against any team in particular. but certainly rooting for an underdog to kind of make it to this point. So sorry if those kind of the rooting for the underdog, if those vibes kind of threw Vaskala off their game, who's to say for sure? But at the end of the day, I don't think anyone's complaining about getting to see, more than likely, Linköping and HAVU going head-to-head in the final. But again, hREDS have something to say about that. We talked about it a lot already, and again, we're just about ready for puck drop here in Game 5. hREDS, they can make something of this. It's been an incredibly close series, but again, 3 straight wins against HAVU. Easier said than done.
It's, yeah, very easier said than done. They need an easy one, then they need their goaltender to steal a game, and then they need a 5-minute major in Game 7. That's the recipe for success when coming back from a 3-1 deficit, as I have learned. But in all serious, though, yeah, tough road ahead of them for hREDS. And, you know, it starts with one game at a time, one period at a time, one sequence at a time. Gain the zone, set it up, keep applying that pressure to HAVU, because when they were able to do that, HAVU Gaming seemed just put off their game, and they didn't seem to be willing or able to make some of the adjustments that hREDS were making. So maybe the mental ed for hREDS, the problem is there's no more wiggle room. You can't lose any more games. If the bounces go against you, you could be done. So tough position for hREDS to be in, but a definite possibility for them to storm back here in this one.
Absolutely. So moments away, as we mentioned, about as much build and breakdown, analysis, synalysis as one can possibly give. It's just now a matter of seeing how it all plays out. And Sin, I need to know. What are you rooting for here? Because some might suspect that in the commentary game, with the amount of overtimes we've called, the amount of close games that have been called, one might suspect that we're just rooting for a HAVU win, get it over and done with, save up the voices. But that said, hREDS making this a series, I can't say I'd be against it.
Absolutely not. I mean, you know, when you think about it, maybe in retrospect or even before things, you're like, yeah, you wake up, you're like, oh man, can my boys handle this? But once you're in the moment, once you're watching these games, you don't want it to stop. And I think that is the case for both of us here. We would obviously benefit from the longer series. We love it. We love watching ourselves some good 6v6 EASHL action. But we'll see what HAVU has in store. We'll see what the hockey gods have in mind. And we'll see if hREDS can battle their way back from a 3-1 series deficit.
So here we go. Puck drop, Game 5 of the second semifinal matchup. Again, Linköping on their way to the final, but the question is, who will join them? HAVU in the black and green, a 3-1 series lead here, just one win away from getting their shot at revenge. King of Apes has it here. Look for him to shoot. He does. Deflection bit for Nicky Dangles. It hits him in the shin, though. That was a huge play for them, a set play in Games 3 and 4. Maybe not the person you'd expect to try and really establish the net front presence being Nicky Dangles, but it has worked out for them at times, most certainly. We'll see how this goes here, though. Again, hREDS no tomorrow. This is all you're guaranteed. Second chance, and they score early! Benito able to tuck it into the open net after the initial shot was blocked. Sin a picture perfect start for hREDS.
Exactly what they needed to do. They kept finding a way to gain the zone, and then their aggression helped to keep them in the zone, or at least, you know, not get forced into their own zone by holding the neutral zone. King of Apes, a good job by that. A couple sequences, he was throwing the puck on the net, and then it seems like hREDS all in favor of doing that same thing, throwing pucks to the net. We heard him talk about it. They executed on it, and it's Benito in the slot on the backhand, putting it home and giving his team a 1-0 lead. Good start for hREDS, but if you're HAVU, you got to be like, what the heck is going on here?
I mean, absolutely, you know, chance to end this series. They had space there, just couldn't find Flyer Coogan on the pass. You talk about the ability to end the series here, probably playing with a decent amount of confidence despite dropping Game 4. Not the start you wanted, giving up a goal in less than 4 minutes. HAVU not able to hold that one into the zone here. It's Nasu circling back, looking for a couple of options. Finds Polanco on the pass. Now down low in the corner. Flyer Coogan with him. Circles back in again. Still down in the corner. Back to the point. It's Nasu. And again down low. Good cycle work. Shot on. Loose puck is recovered by Teemu. As now it's back into the corner here. hREDS trying to get a clean breakout. Apes, a little bit of trouble there. They're at least able to clear the puck, but not able to maintain possession. HAVU trying to get right back in on the attack. Big spin there by Yoki. Benito had a chance there as well, but hREDS right now, I mean, doing a good job. I mean, HAVU getting that cycle going. They weren't able to do much with it. Chance here for Benito. Banks it off the wall. Has Nicky Dangles down low. Crashes the net. Blocker save. Loose puck is recovered yet again by HAVU. Dominointi able to make the pass. Took a huge hit to make the play. Pawanso tries to just charge his way over the blue line. Runs out of space.
Yeah, and HAVU once again going a bit off sides right there, and hREDS, their blue line hold has been good, and HAVU said they had something for him. They had an adjustment being made. Still waiting to kind of get a glimpse of that. We'll see what they try to do to gain the blue line more easily, but yeah, I mean, their attack, as you mentioned, the cycle, they started to get it going, but they just simply couldn't get a chance.
Good interception there by Yoki. hREDS will be back in possession. Of course, one of the big talking points have been HAVU and their ability, or really lack of an ability, to gain the offensive zone as consistently and as cleanly as they often do against the majority of their opponents. It's a big turnover there by Teemu. Chance here for HAVU if they can make something of it. The King of Apes able to clean up that situation. See what happens here again. hREDS trying to work it around, find that open bit of space. King of Apes shot on. Nicky Dangles was there again. Just not able to get a piece of it, but still going right back to the well that really helped them out so consistently throughout games 3 and 4, with Apes being a new addition to this postseason lineup. As the puck here, trouble though, Flyer Kunganen on the forecheck shot, scores! He finds Pawanso in front, and HAVU have tied it. Sin, that's all it takes.
And
One
that's
attack.
Yeah, that's why HAVU is just so dangerous down low. If your collapse isn't perfect, if your gaps aren't perfect on your checks there, they will make you pay. A quick pass out to Pawanso in front, and just like that, HAVU have tied this game. That one sneaking 5-hole. We see more 5-hole goals here pretty much than anywhere else. It seems to be a favorite shot location for these guys, and with a quick pass like that, I don't even know if you wanted to go butterfly as a goaltender, you could react in time. That happened in a blink of an eye.
Absolutely, and that's how quickly it can happen. We talked about Flyer Kunganen. You mentioned it. You don't want to play against an overly motivated man such as him and his ability here, of course, particularly on the forecheck, and that's what caused trouble for hREDS. We are tied at 1 apiece here to the back half of this first period. hREDS on the attack. Nicky Dangles not able to make the play. We'll see what HAVU is able to do in response. Big stretch pass to Flyer Kunganen. He's still on it. Pawanso draws the trip. HAVU going to the power play, and what a turn of events there. It's going to be Nicky Dangles taking the seat.
Yep, you lost the lead, and now you take a penalty, and this is where it can bite you here. HAVU on the power play, don't win the face-off here, so perhaps a free clear. They do get it. Bit of a danger there as Villikun stepped up for the hit.
Benito still trying to make something happen. Hits the side of the net with the shot. Under 3 minutes remaining here in this first period. hREDS striking first under 4 minutes in. Chance here for HAVU yet again. Pawanso off the toe drag. Just can't hold on to it, but he's able to regather possession. Has it down low yet again. Flyer Kunganen. Couple of options. Sostelia again down low. Wrap bid there for Pawanso. Still alive. Flyer Kunganen nearly picks the corner. Great chances here for HAVU on the man advantage. 30 seconds left, and they still have it in the offensive zone. Sostelia, what a pass there. Finds Villikun down low. Great cycle movement here. Opportunity. Nasu tried to pick the corner. Good block in front. Chance again here. Dominointi tries to pick that top corner. hREDS survive. Under a minute to go here in the first period. Yoki, the spin. Nicky Dangles has it down low. Rifles it across. Blocked down in front. Final 8 seconds. King of Apes shot. Deflects wide. Still alive. Benito tried to bring it back to the near post. He couldn't find the space. Huge breakaway there at the end. Of course, more of a side effect, I'd say, of hREDS being aggressive to try and get a goal here to close out the period. They cannot. And Sin, 3 shots, 2 goals. Talk about efficiency.
Yep, definitely. Both these teams very efficient, and both of them, even though hRED's more willing to throw the puck on net, you got to give credit where credit's due. HAVU doing a good job of getting in some of those shooting lanes here as we get another look at that goal from Benito there. Good job to kind of navigate his way through the slot to get the backhand shot off, and we can just see how quick that pass was, and I believe he caught King of Apes there poking, so no chance for the intercept as a defenseman. If you're poking or stick lifting or even have your hands up looking for a hit, you will not get that intercept. The best you can hope for is some incidental contact, and with a hard R2 pass right there, it's just not going to happen. And Färjestad, a great assist right there to get that game tied.
Absolutely. Puck drop here. Second period underway. Game 5. HAVU win. They're off to the final to take on Linköping. Polanco. That pass just out of his reach. hREDS looking to secure themselves another game to continue this series. Easier said than done, though. Again, one of the closest series we've seen throughout this postseason. Space for Yoki. Throws it in front. Benito doesn't shoot. Apes does, and he's denied. Somehow Hanselino able to find that one through the traffic. A little bit surprised to see Benito not take the shot there.
Yeah, I think they're looking to hope, catch Hanselino off guard and maybe over sliding to the left right there, but he's just been so good in this series. They didn't get it right there. A bit surprised, to see Benito not pulling the trigger there, especially after getting that first goal for hREDS.
Absolutely. HAVU in possession here. Let's see what they can do. Nasu takes his time. A couple of quick passes here. Dominointi trying to work to help find space. We've seen hREDS go 5 on the blue line. It didn't necessarily work out for them at certain times. Doesn't work out here either. HAVU in the zone right now. Chance for Polanco. Has it down low. Can't make the pass. And it's hREDS back in possession. Yoki trying to protect. King of Apes stepping up. Shot on. Just wide. Second chance for Benito, though. He was unable to regather the puck. Here's HAVU now. Villikun looking to step up. Has a couple of options. Sends it down low. Out of the reach, though, Färjestad. And now it's hREDS again. Back in on the attack. Good protection from Yoki. Chance again. Yoki shot denied. Great puck movement, but even better tracking from Hanselino to make the save.
Yeah, and he might not have got completely over to the post as he may have wanted, but he didn't need to. The shot from Yoki just didn't quite have the power on it that it needed to beat Hanselino there on the short side.
Absolutely. Chance here now. Still hREDS on the attack. King of Apes shot blocked. Has a second chance. Tried to find Yoki, but HAVU will be able to regain possession here. Färjestad has it. Looking, Polanco still has it, just loses it though. Good recovery by Teemu of hREDS to take away that opportunity. Here's Yoki, burst of speed, shot on, denied by Hanselino. Still now, here's Benito for hREDS. To the point, huge shot denied. What a rocket of a shot from Teemu. Just doesn't find its way into the back of the net. Promising stuff here for hREDS, but even more promising for HAVU. Shot on with a glove save by Nikke to deny Villikun as he stepped up.
Yeah, he's had a few sneaky step-ups into the rush here, and it's really starting to give some time and space for HAVU there. And that time, going for the rebound, looking for Färjestad on the doorstep with I call it indirect pass when you shoot that low on into the pads, hoping for that rebound there. Doesn't work out in that situation, but HAVU definitely looking better as this game progresses here.
We talked about, both Nasu and Villikun, their ability to step up all season long and in the keys to success, and you can see why. The chances they can create. Speaking of chances, Polanco nearly buried that one. Dominointi drives the net. Loose puck is covered. And hREDS surviving a couple of scary moments there. HAVU with a couple of good scoring opportunities.
Yeah, and HAVU starting to get that forecheck going, something that I feel like they needed to do a lot more yesterday, and they're really getting into the action early here, and they win another faceoff. More sustained zone time.
Shot on, paddled away by Nikke. Another chance here, though. HAVU really starting to establish that offensive foothold here and getting the better of the play. Polanco down low. Färjestad's pass to Dominointi was off the mark. King of Apes tries to make the outlet pass. HAVU right now really stepping up. And it was one of our key points. They have to keep that pressure going. Dominointi tried to pick the corner. It was blocked down in front. See if King of Apes can make the pass. Again, pass it forward and pass it back just to try and get the space. Yoki over the line. Can he regain possession? Yes, he can. He has it. Circles back to the point. King of Apes again down low. Yoki to the point. Denied by Hanselino. Great, really ability there to get that on net. Chance for Polanco. Back for Färjestad. He can't get it on net. Chance. Villikun denied. May have hit the post. What an opportunity again for really both sides at this stage. Sauced off the side of the net. Färjestad in the rapid. Dominointi had a chance to get that one as well. Both teams firing shots home from the point. Just not able to find the back of the net. Nikke Dangles now for Yoki. King of Apes again. Yoki down low in the corner. Tried to hit Nikke Dangles, but excellently read there by Villikun to take that one away. End-to-end action here in the second period. Chance. Färjestad tried to find Dominointi, who just couldn't get a piece of it. And that brings us to a stoppage of play. Sin, what a back-and-forth tilt we have here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nasu and Villikun not hesitating to step up and provide that extra passing lane. And you know what? HAVU gaining the zone with much more efficiency than they did yesterday, and here they are.
Shot blocked down. Nasu not able to get that one on target.
Uh-oh.
Chance here. Pawanso has it. Couple of options again to work with. Down low. Dominointi now back again. Dishes it to the point. D-to-D pass. Final 10 seconds. Down low one more time. Good interception there from Yoki. Does he have a chance to turn defense into offense? The answer is no. Sin, that brings us to the end of the second period. We're still tied at 1. Not the worst situation for hREDS to be in.
Not the worst situation, but definitely not the best there. I feel like they were starting to really get hemmed in there at times, and HAVU were getting some dangerous chances. That being said, hREDS, definitely weren't completely stifled in the offensive zone. They had their chances. They were throwing some pucks on net. But when you look at HAVU's chances, I just feel like they're a bit more dangerous. That shot from the point, I think by Villikun it was, Nicky completely out of position. He had the entire right side of the net to shoot at, and maybe deflected and then hit the post, or just hit the post outright. And unfortunate break there if you're HAVU especially, but you got to like the opportunities you're getting. You got to like the chances you're getting, and maybe just a few more shots on net there, especially at the end when the clock was winding down. I felt like, that one too many pass and it was picked off by Yoki. They became a bit too static in their cycle, and hREDS were able to adjust to it as they so often do.
So, Sin, we are just about set here for the third period. This is the last period that hREDS are guaranteed to take part in. From here, it's all up to them and whether or not they can continue this run. Overtime seems like it could be likely, but we thought that before when HAVU took Game 3. In the dying moments, I believe, with 4 seconds left in regulation in that game. So if there's time on the clock, the game is still up for grabs. It's a lesson that we are often reminded of here in the postseason. We'll see what happens here. HAVU win this one. Again, they're off to the final. hREDS need to win this one or their season is over. HAVU in on the attack. Pawanso along the half wall goes back to the point, and again back down low. A couple of options there for Flyer Kungan, but not exactly easy to pick an option when you get when you get a fist to the face. This happened there. Chance now here. HAVU still getting that cycle going, but can they do anything with it? Dominointi not able to crash the net like he was looking to do. He's back in possession here, though. Again, trying to cut to the front of the net, just powering his way through the traffic, but it's not exactly a strategy that's paying off so far. Nicky Dangles has had a bit of a quiet game. King of Apes tries to find Yoki, but again, HAVU able to take it away. hREDS with that shot advantage heading into this third period, but it's really tough to say. I mean, are they just taking more shots in general, or is it just a matter of HAVU really only settling for the top-notch chances? It might give it a chance to hear from Sid in a moment. We'll see what happens here on this possession for HAVU. Slap shot, rebound not there. They keep it in the zone, though. Nasu able to walk the tightrope there at the blue line. Again, great passes here with, yet again, Pawanso, of course, down low. So aggressive at times. Villikun looked to step up. hREDS, Sin, that was a ridiculous amount of sustained pressure. They finally get it back to the neutral zone, but they can't do anything with it.
And they might just have to sustain a bit more pressure as well, as HAVU right back in on the attack. I'd like to see him shoot from the point a bit, though.
Loose puck scramble. hREDS come up with it. We'll see what they can do on this rush attempt. Mistimed and an offside. It's been all HAVU to start this third period for the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, and that was a big mental error there from hREDS. Just so desperate to get it back into the offensive zone there. That was almost an unforced error right there at the blue line. A bit questionable right there with the decision-making. Everyone just trying to look there, maybe expecting a pass, but here comes HAVU again entering the zone.
Gungan loses it there. Great job by Yoki. Dangerous pass, though, with Dominointi right there. He doesn't pay for it, but that could have been a mistake that would come back to haunt him. Chance here. Nicky Dangles not able to hold on to it. Underrated. Nasu and Villikun have been spectacular on defense here for HAVU as they try the big outlet pass. Just doesn't find its way through. Sin, we're already halfway through this third period. hREDS in on the attack. Nicky Dangles back to the point. King of Apes has it. Throws it in front into the mixer. Nicky Dangles still there. Can't get the shot off. Here come HAVU back down the other way. Still tied at 1 apiece. HAVU not able to make the most of this attacking time. Pawanso looking, cuts back, wanted to test the near post again. We know that's HAVU's bread and butter. They just haven't been able to find the space. King of Apes dishes it off, and again, back to him, trying to find his way through the neutral zone. It's Yoki now. Burst to speed, takes the hit, can't make the play. Dominointi's able to get this one around. And we'll see what HAVU's able to do on the attack. Chance here, Pawanso, and again, forced to move it around a little bit to try and find space. Dominointi offside, though, 14 minutes gone. still tied at 1.
Yeah, and it looks like HAVU is looking for a very specific shot, a very specific chance right there, as they've only gotten one registered shot in this period. Well, all that time on attack, you can see them over doubling hREDS now, and it seems like they want that one chance here, but you're still tied, and anything can happen with a bounce or anything. So I'd like to see Nasu and Villikun maybe take a couple shots for them point and crash the net a bit, because it seems like they want to keep that cycle going, but they spend too much time cycling. Again, hREDS eventually adjust to what their tendencies are and are able to get the puck out. You know, as strong as HAVU is looking, the chances that they want just seeming to not be there, as hREDS collapsing around the net and defending the behind the net very well too. So, you know, if you're HAVU here, maybe you want to just take a few more shots, maybe from some weird angles, maybe from some areas that you're not used to, because again, I think hREDS in, you know, their ability to kind of shift mentality and adjust on the fly here in the middle of it is almost unmatched here. So if you're HAVU, time for maybe you to make some adjustments to counteract the adjustments the other team is making defensively.
That was one of our keys to success, certainly. Now, the question is, you kind of mentioned for HAVU, if you just start throwing pucks on net, I think that would catch the majority of teams off guard at this stage when you've been, you know, going back to the well of your set plays. Nasu's shot just wide through the traffic. Chance flyer, Kungen nearly buried it. Unbelievable, hit the crossbar from what I can tell. That was nearly it. Sin, you called it. Start taking shots. You can catch hREDS off guard. Flyer Kungen nearly gives his team the lead in what could have been the series clinching goal, right in the immediate aftermath of those double timeout calls.
Wow, I mean, that's as close as it gets, and if Flyer Kungen was frustrated and angry and determined before, I can't imagine what's going through his head right now as a one-man forecheck. It's Flyer Kungen, and he gets possession.
Nasu has it, deflection, bid, loose puck, Flyer Kungen again. Nearly tucked that one home. Final 2 minutes of play here now. hREDS, it's all or nothing. HAVU, they have wiggle room to work with, up 3-1. Great job there by Polanco. Dominoites pass up to him. A little bit off the mark. We'll see what happens here. Interception. Flyer Kungen not able to maintain it. Good recovery there by King of Apes. He's in possession. Below his own goal line here. We'll see what he's able to do with it. A couple of quick passes. Again, Nicky Dangles has had a really good postseason, but he's been a little bit quiet in this game. He's in possession now. This one nearly on net. Villikun was there. He's going to send it down quick. D-to-D pass. You don't often see it like that. It's offside. So a huge offensive zone draw coming up here for hREDS and Benita.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, HAVU promised some adjustments on the breakout. That's an interesting one. A slap pass from Villikun to his defensive partner trying to cheat and get a zone entry right there. Interesting creativity coming out from HAVU.
hREDS have it, shot denied, rebound was there. Hanselino able to cover. Another offensive zone draw coming up here for hREDS. Good chance there, though, to just throw one on and see what happens.
Yeah, scary moment right there from HAVU, for HAVU, and, you know, that's why they should probably throw pucks on net themselves. Anything can happen with those bounces and the rebounds.
Absolutely shot on again. Hanselino able to parry that one aside. Final 20 seconds to go now. Good pressure here from hREDS. You can see them backing up, though, perhaps a little bit more than we expected them to. A little bit more than when they found success through games 3 and in particular game 4. This one offside yet again, 12 seconds to go. Sin, are we destined for overtime?
We may just be. I'm kind of curious as why HAVU didn't choose to go in an aggressive face-off right there in case they win it for an easy zone entry. Well, they don't win it, so yeah, maybe a good decision by them there, but great hit from Flyer Kungen.
Final chance here. Kungen just couldn't pick that one up. 4 seconds to go. Huge hit there from Polanco. Sin, my friend, why not? Have overtime. It go to overtime yet again. I have legitimately lost track as to whether or not this is now, well, let's see, how many games have they played? I mean, this is now what?
4 out of 5 going to overtime.
So, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this is now their 9th overtime game of this postseason alone?
hREDS, I believe so. Yeah.
We may have hit double digits here with this particular overtime. It's unbelievable.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's just...
I don't think we'll ever see anything like this again for as long as, you know, however long we're doing commentary for whoever. We, of course, don't plan on going anywhere. But as this one didn't hit the crossbar, so you get a look at it. Actually, it hit the post. I thought it went off the stick initially. That close was Flyer Kungen ending it. I don't think we'll ever see a run like this again with one team going to overtime this consistently in the postseason. For hREDS, though, Again, it's all or nothing. You need this win to continue your chance here. Otherwise, HAVU going to the final.
Yeah, and HAVU is looking like the better team, but all it takes is a bounce, and that's why if they lose this game, HAVU's got to be kicking themselves with all the zone time. You know, they still have less shots than hREDS, but we'll see what happens here. Opening face-off of the first overtime.
Here we go. Puck drop. Chance here. Dominoiti scores! 29 seconds is all it takes. hREDS caught coming out of the starting gate. HAVU Gaming take the series in 5, and we are set for a rematch of the century. Linköping and HAVU gonna go at it one more time. Sin, that is a heartbreaker of the highest degree for hREDS. You're caught right off the opening draw of overtime, and your season ends in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, absolutely heartbreaking right there. I mean, but that's just the breaks. I mean, that's what can happen if you don't come out ready to play. And HAVU was a hungry team, and they're able to take advantage right there. And I mean, what a play by them. Nasostelia knew exactly what he was doing, you know, kind of delaying in the neutral zone, and then all of a sudden Dominoiti gets the step right there, catches the defense of hREDS napping, and unfortunately for them, it results in a goal. Nicky Dangle's in decent position. You know, he couldn't completely cheat to one side or the other. You know, Dominoiti every advantage in that situation, and great job from him to end the game. And HAVU advancing back to the championship. The revenge tour is still there.
For hREDS, that is one of the worst possible ways I think that your season can end. No disrespect to Unlucky Boys, of course, in the way hREDS ended their season. That was certainly a heartbreaker. But this moment here, you know, just I don't know if you call that a lapse of judgment off the draw. You never really expect plays to develop that quickly through the, you know, opening few minutes, really, especially in the opening few seconds of a period. But at the end of the day, that is, again, a heartbreaking way to lose. It was a phenomenal season for hREDS. You know, it's got to be heartbreaking to hear, you know, kind of talking about past tense here. It was a phenomenal season for hREDS. And again, we talked about it, their ability all season long to try and make us question, is it a big 2? Is it a big 3? Or is it a big 4? Expect them to be back in a big way next season, but that is certainly not the way that they would have wanted their season to end by any stretch. Again, every game in that series, just a 1-goal deficit.
Yeah, and you know, so many going to overtimes there. But yeah, I think that was, especially at the end there, that was a mental battle won, I think, by HAVU. So many times we see teams, especially in overtime, almost restrain themselves a bit. They kind of take a step back. Even if the third period was back and forth action, we see in overtime, oftentimes that's where we'll kind of see both teams sort of take it slow, work their way into it, because a mistake can cost you and a mistake can end the game. And in that situation, it was a mistake by hREDS to kind of have that mentality, okay, let's ease into this, because HAVU, they weren't going to ease into anything. They were frustrated. They were angry. They were determined. They came right out of the gate strong, and Dominoiti finishing it off for his squad.
Absolutely. So again, for HAVU, mission nearly accomplished. You have earned your way back. Sin, it's what we expected at the start of the season. We weren't sure at times if it was going to happen. Thanks to Färjestad, though, pulling off the upset in round 1, we avoided this matchup in the semifinal, and now we get it here in the final. It's Linköping and HAVU, the 2 seed and the 3 seed this season, but a rematch of last year's final. And what more could you possibly ask for at this stage? I mean, again, you talk about it, the 2 best teams that we thought, you know, would be at the top heading into this season, meeting again in the final. Meme-worthy, perhaps. But what a series that's going to be.
Yeah, and just sometimes the things seem like they are just meant to be here, and that may be the case when it comes to HAVU and Linköping. Unfinished business between the pair of them, and it's, you know, I mean, it's just like 2 titans battling it out until, you know, Judgment Day, until the universe collapses in on itself. And well, we're going to see them. It's going to be a crazy finals. HAVU, they're going to be determined. They're going to want that revenge, and they're going to want to finish off the season on the note that they want to, because we know they're not happy about, you know, the way last season ended for them. And, you know, Flyer Kungen, talking with him today, I mean, that is a determined individual.
Absolutely. I mean, that team in general, you talked about it. We've talked about it a lot this season in just terms of how it goes. So the voice is given out here, Sin, so it's a good thing that we did not have extra games, all things considered. But, again, you talk about it, the revenge tour for HAVU, one of the most disappointing losses you could have possibly had in last year's final. And this year, the goal was quite simple. Get back to the final and reclaim your crown. You're now just 4 wins away from being able to do just that. The problem is, or perhaps maybe not the problem, is that Linköping's in the final, because you have to sit there and ask yourself, and I suppose I'll equate this to the Washington Capitals, right? Before they win the cup, would you rather just win the cup, or is it that much better that you go through Pittsburgh en route to win the Stanley Cup? Yeah. Here's another situation for HAVU. You win the title. Oh, that's sweet. You won the title. But how much more sweet is it to win the title if you're able to beat Linköping in the process?
Yeah, absolutely. If Färjestad kind of somehow pulled off that upset and HAVU got to face them and, beat them, I think they prefer this. And I think either way the series ends up, this is what they want. They want the chance for redemption right here. And that's just, the kind of competitors that these guys are at this level. HAVU Game and Linköping, they are all super competitive. They all love what they do. At the end of the day, they say, it's a video game. You got to have fun, but you also want to win that video game. You want to be the best you can be. That's just the mentality these guys have. What was that?
Is that possible?
What?
To have fun?
Yes, very possible.
Who knew? Who knew it was possible to have fun playing NHL 20? Not because of the game, but because, of certain attitudes, and such. What are you going to do, right? But saying again, is you got to look, of course, the lineups or the bracket here, not the lineups. We would have seen the lineups well enough. But all in all, a very interesting situation. And Sin, we set the stage here for you. Joining us now, or at least in a matter of moments here, will be the captain of the winning team, Flyer Kungen, taking time to join us yet again. Sin, if we are just about ready to go here, feel free to take over. Can't wait to hear what he has to say.
All right. And he is in here with us right now, the captain of HAVU Gaming, Flyer Kungen. And as we get his cam on stream, we'll wait for our producer. There we are. The captain, the victorious one, the one who came in determined, and he sure played like a determined individual there. So I got to start off with that last goal there in overtime. Was that a set play that you guys had in mind, or did you just see that space open up and send Dominointi off to the races?
It was kind of natural play. It was great wait for Nassu. He wanted to wait that set was open, and gladly it worked out.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really good pass right there. And, in the interview before the game, I talked about, any adjustments you had to make, and you simply said, you'll see. And we did see. There's a lot of interesting kind of break-ins you guys did. The one that stands out to me is when Villikun did the slap pass to the opposite boards and tried to hit Nassu Stelia, kind of going up the middle of the ice. I've never quite seen a left defenseman being the highest guy up on the rush. Was that something you worked on, or again, just kind of something in the moment?
I have to say that nobody didn't wait that coming, but you never know what is going to happen when Villikun is having the puck. So yeah, it surprised us, but it was a great try.
Yeah, I mean, it almost panned out for you. So, I got to throw something out there that you might remind you of a frustrating moment. You hit the post there off of a shot, again, from the high slot right there, sort of went off the blocker and then hit the pipe afterwards. We saw you in the replay taking another look at that. Was that kind of like a moment where you gripped your controller a bit tighter, or you just think, you know what, we're getting our chances. We're the better team right now. We just got to stick to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's our game plan. You miss some chances, but we need to keep the pressure up, and then we will get more chances. Yeah, it's not like I'm starting to frustrate if I don't hit empty net. It's nothing new.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, things can happen, especially when it comes to NHL games. So, yeah, your opponents, hREDS, put up one heck of a fight. Did they, again, throughout the course of the series, even though you guys won in 5, it felt a lot closer, I guess, in so many ways than I guess it appeared in a 5-game series. What did you see in their game that was, kept it so close all the time?
I don't know really. They are a really skilled team with the puck, so sometimes it's hard to take away from them. I think their individual skill is so high that it doesn't matter how you play. It's always hard to play against those guys. But I'm glad how we managed to play better today than yesterday, and I'm glad that we were the team in those overtimes. So it was kind of changing in this series that we were able to win those overtimes because, as you can see, we are in the finals now because of that. So.
Right back to where you wanted to be here. So, I saw you a couple times. We always talk about how strong you are on the forecheck with your, defensive skill stick, especially. But then towards the end there, we saw you taking on 3 different guys to get the puck. I mean, how important to you do you feel like a forecheck is, especially in NHL esports? Because we do see a lot of teams opting to stay back in the trap. But when it comes to you guys, when you're on your aggressive game, it seems like that's when you're at your best.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it works against some teams at some point, but yeah, it depends who you're playing against. I think like there are some teams who can break the pressure better than other teams. And it kind of depends. You just need to adjust to your opponent play style, and if there is some things don't work out during the game, you just need to try to adjust during the periods and between the periods. And we have been sticking so long together already. We have been playing together so long that you get to know guys around you better and better after every tournament, and different styles gets more easy to play then.
All right. Well, sounds good. All right. So now your opponent going to be Linköping back in the finals here again. Is this kind of what you guys wanted, the chance for revenge, or would you, just wanted to get back to the finals? We talked a bit about it between Tugi and I that, maybe it just wouldn't be the same if you weren't facing Linköping there in the finals. Is that true, or you just don't care how you get there?
We don't care how we get to the finals, but we already knew that if we get to the finals, it's Linköping who is waiting us there. So it's not a surprise. It's time for El Clasico, and I hope we can get some good games going.
All right. Well, we thank you for your time. Congrats today. Go celebrate with the boys a bit and then prepare for your finals rematch against Linköping. So thank you. Congrats again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
So there it is, the winning captain, Flyer Kungen from HAVU Gaming there, speaking with us a bit. And there you see it. It's official. Linköping, HAVU, the rematch is here. And I am excited. I know you guys out there have got to be excited, but how about my broadcast partner? Are you excited for the rematch?
It's impossible to not be excited, man. How could we not be? A 30-game regular season that was spectacular to call. Of course, came down to the wire in terms of who was going to even make it into the playoffs. We saw the emergence of potential new powerhouses. We saw unbelievable upsets and crazy first-round series. The semifinals perhaps going as people expected, but Färjestad still giving Linköping a bit of a scare in that second game of the series. hREDS keeping it extremely close and competitive with HAVU throughout, and then at the end of the day, again, as we call it around these parts, El Clasico's happening again. It's Linköping and HAVU in the final. Again, the finals being next week, Friday and Saturday, the 5th and 6th of June. Times to be determined, to be announced there. So, of course, make sure to pay attention to not only NHLGamer.com, of course, but all the socials, the Twitter and Instagram as well, at NHL Gamer for more information on that. But Sin, I mean, it's been a phenomenal season, and we are set up for about as good of a conclusion as we could possibly have hoped for.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and perhaps what we expected to be here in the finals, what a lot of people expected, but the road that it took to get here was anything but expected. I mean, so many different crazy upsets happening and weird things that was just, it's what makes NHL esports so special, and what makes the ECL elite what it is just, at this point, expect the unexpected.
Absolutely. So with that, again, keep in mind not only things wrapping up with the ECL Elite Division, but the other 3 tiers as well, fully in the playoff spirit. We'll have more for you in terms of what we're going to be covering, hopefully getting to cover other finals as well. Again, more to be announced. NHLGamer.com is where you need to be for that. The semifinals have concluded. Sin, it's off to the finals. Their job not done just yet in terms of covering the elite division. Any final words here in this regard as we look to wrap things up today?
Not at all. I'm going to let the games today speak for themselves and let everyone else get hyped for the finals, because I know I am.
Absolutely. So with that, we are out of here for today. Again, we thank you very much for joining and supporting this presentation. Again, of the ECL Elite Division Playoffs, of course, brought to you as always by Prisma Gaming and IS Esports. Again, you've already heard the links. Of course, NHLGamer.com, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Discord, the YouTube. You can find us just about everywhere. You can find Sin on Twitter. You see it on screen at SinFTWProd on Twitter, on Twitch. Easy for me to say. On Twitch and YouTube, it's Sin for the Win Productions. It's been an interesting day, Sin, but you know what? You do what you always do. You make the best of it. You can find Sin, of course, on Twitch and on YouTube at Sin for the Win Productions. You can find me, if you'd want to do that for whatever reason, at Tuki24 everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. You know the deal. Sin, until next time, we will see you all then for the finals. Linköping and HAVU. What more could you ask for? We'll catch you all next time. Until then, stay safe.